How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be covering the Arc Warlock, called the Stormcaller, and also the exotic armor called Fallen Sunstar. Here's a brief description of what the helmet of the exotic Fallen Sunstar does. It's called Ionic Conductor. Ionic traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. Nearby allies also gain ability energy when you collect an Ionic trace. So the more Ionic traces we have, the more we can be able to spam our grenades, our melees, and our rips. And if you guys enjoyed these videos like these, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that like button and subscribe. If you guys are interested in this build, the dim link would be in the link of the description. And as always, let's get right into it. For the Arc subclass, it's called Stormcaller. For the super ability I'm using is Storm Trance. Next, let's head to the abilities. For my rifts, I'm using the Healing Rift. And for the movement abilities, I'm using Burst Glide as usual. And for the arc melees, I was using All Lightning. Fire an arc projectile forward that releases a perpendicular lightning strike after a short time. While amplified, Ball Lightning releases additional lightning strikes before detonating. Here's what Amplified does. Your movement speed and weapon handling are greatly increased. After sprinting for a short time, your movement speed is further increased. Rapidly defeating targets with arc damage makes you amplified. And for the arc grenade, I'm using Pulse Grenade, a grenade that periodically damages targets within its explosion radius. Now let's head to the arc aspects. The first arc aspect I'm using is Arc Soul. Cast your rift to create an arc soul that fires a target in front of you. Allies can pass through your rift to get an arc soul. Your rift charges faster when allies are near. When amplified, your arc souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. The second arc aspect is called Electrostatic Mind. Defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an Ionic trace. Collecting an Ionic trace makes you amplified. Here's what jolted does. The target is energized with destructive arc light. They take additional damage while jolted and chain lightning to nearby targets. Jolt damage causes overload champions to be stunned. The next one is blind. Combatants are disoriented and cannot fire their weapon. Opposing guardians' HUD is removed and their vision is obscured. When blinded, unstoppable champions are stunned. Next, let's head to the arc fragments. The first arc fragment is called Spark of Discharge. Arc weapon final blows have a chance to create an Ionic trace. And here's what an Ionic trace does. A bolt of pure arc energy that travels along the ground seeking toward its creator. When picked up, Ionic traces grant ability energy. The second arc fragment is Spark of Magnitude. Your lingering arc grenades, lightning grenades, pulse grenades, and storm grenades have extended duration. The third arc fragment is called Spark of Ions. Defeating a jolted target creates an Ionic trace. The fourth and final arc fragment is called Spark of Shock. Your arc grenades jolt targets. For the kinetic weapons, I'm using a stasis fusion rifle called the Riptide because it comes with auto-loading holster and chill clip. If you have any other stasis fusion rifles that has chill clip, feel free to use those because with chill clip, it could stun overload champions and unstoppable champions. For my energy weapons, I was using the Aikilos SMG. It's an arc SMG. The perks that I was using is Feeding Frenzy and Volt Shot. So every time I would proc Volt Shot, it will jolt that target. In which case, gives me an Ionic trace because of the arc fragment called Spark of Ions. So I can either throw my grenade to jolt an enemy, or I can use the perk Volt Shot to jolt that enemy. Now let's head to the power weapon. I was using an exotic arc machine gun called the Thunderlord. Here's what the intrinsic trait does. It's called Region Havoc. Final blows with this weapon generate stunning lightning strikes from above, strong against overload champions. And if you do have the catalyst for the Thunderlord, here's what it does. Causing a lightning strike with this weapon partially reloads the magazine from reserves. And here's the weapon perk for the Thunderlord. It's called Lightning Rounds. This weapon fires faster and more accurately the longer the trigger is held. Continuous damage generates stunning lightning strikes. Now we got the weapons covered, let's head to the armor. I was using an exotic helmet called the Fallen Sunstar. And here's what it does. It's called Ionic Conductor. Ionic traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. Nearby allies also gain ability energy when you collect an Ionic trace. And here are the mods that I was using. The first two mods is called Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. And the last mod is called Arc Siphon. Arc weapon final blows create an orb of power. Next is the gauntlets. The first mod is Firepower. Your grenade final blows create an orb of power. The second mod, Momentum Transfer. Causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. And last but not least, the third mod is Heavy Handed. Your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. Next, let's head to the chest armor. And of course, with all chest armors, I would always put resist mods. So I put solar resist, void resist, and the last one is harmonic resistance, in which case it ties to your super. So my super is arc, so it reduces arc damage from combatants. And now we have the leg armor. The first armor mod is Recuperation. Replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power. Secondly, Absolution. Reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power. So what you're seeing here is that our goal is to decrease all of our ability cooldowns so we can spam it as much times as we want. The third and final mod for the leg armor is Arc Weapon Surge. Your arc weapons gain a small bonus to arc damage while you have any armor charges, so that counts towards my Aikilos SMG and the Thunderlord. Our fifth and final armor piece is the Warlock Bond. The first mod is Bomber. Reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. The second mod is Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. And our third and final mod for the Warlock Bond is Outreach. Reduces melee cooldown when using your class ability. Next, let's head to the seasonal mods. For the seasonal mods in this season, there wasn't really anything that would benefit from this build besides authorized mod grenades. The armor energy cost of all armor mods affecting your grenades are significantly discounted. And the next mod is Shattered Orbs. The first time you break a combatant shield, you create an orb of power if you break the shield with the matching damage type. And lastly, Prismatic Transfer. When you cast your super, each member of your fire team with a subclass damage type different than yours gains a bonus to weapon damage. Do you guys want to know what's the best stasis build for the Titan? Well, check this video out if you want to know more. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.